everything started to come apart in the 20th century due to man's burning of fossil fuels. The central piece of evidence presented is Michael Mann's hockey stick graph. This graph has had an amazing existence, rising from the ashes each time someone points out a fatal flaw. Why? Because the UNIPCC desperately needs this graph and feels that it can withstand all criticism. The Wegman report to the National Academy of Sciences did not accuse Mann of fraud, but pointed out that his results were not supportable because of serious analytical errors. The East Anglia emails revealed that Michael Mann had used what was termed Michael's nature trick of removing tree ring data that did not support continued warming in the mid-20th century and substituting conventional thermometer records that did. The mismatched data should have told Mann that his data were not reliable, but instead they provided him exactly the result he wanted and worldwide acclaim. That has become an all too consistent pattern with those proving global warming. Here is the corrected version of the infamous hockey stick that eliminates Mike's nature trick and correctly shows the medieval warm period. Mann was intent on hiding the medieval warm period to bolster his claim that we are warmer today than at any time in the past 1,000 years. That is simply not true. Another example of bad science, other examples are closer to home. Professor Phil Mote, now of Oregon State University, but then at the University of Washington, shows his signature contribution to the global warming debate and alleged shrinking of the low elevation northwest snowpack. Indeed, the data support his contention from the high reached in the early 1950s to the low in the 1990s. But what about before 1950 and after 1977? Well, he did not think it was relevant to report the entire data set that shows cyclical behavior, but no real trend. You will never see this table of the worldwide record high temperatures from alarmists because it shows that all records for the continents were set long ago. That may seem inconsistent with the fact that we are slightly warmer today than we were in the early 20th century, but it may have to do with less effective mixing of cold Arctic air with warm tropical air when the sun is less active. The sun was generally less active in the early 20th century and also recently.